This is The Art of Plenty. My name is Amy McInnes. I am an entrepreneur. I am a registered clinical counselor. I am a mother of 5. And today I'm going to share a little bit about what it means to be a mother of 5 and how we don't only have to work on maintaining and taking care of our emotions. As mothers, I am often the person, or as a mother, I am often the person who regulates the family emotions to some degree. I try to keep the emotional level somewhere in the middle, which isn't always easy for me because I definitely will be or can be reactionary, meaning that I'm a very passionate person. So I get really into things. I can get really excited. I can get really emotional about things. And that doesn't always serve my family, especially if they have emotions going on. That's what we're going to talk about today. So I am going to give you a couple tips of things that you can do when you are a mother of a household or you are a human being whose emotions can impact the emotions of those that are around you. If you're in a position where your emotional stance can help to set the tone, then this is an episode for you. Here is the tricky thing. And if you have followed any or listened to any of my podcasts, if you listen to my podcast about failure, you know that sometimes I can let my emotions get the best of me and that it doesn't always have a good outcome. I have plenty of those stories, and this is the tricky thing. When you become a parent, there is no instructional manual, but it's not just about how do you take care of kids. It's also this idea that we don't know what we're doing. We have never done it before. And we go into parenting, or I went into parenting. I don't know that everybody does this, but I went into parenting with some philosophies, with beliefs, with a way of understanding the world. I took from my own family of origin things that I knew that I wanted to recreate with my family and things that I knew that I definitely did not want to recreate in my family. So we come into this parenting role with all of these ideas, whether we've thought them out consciously or whether they're just living somewhere inside of us. And we go into the situation, but we have no experience. Yeah, maybe I did some babysitting before. And yes, I helped with some of my younger siblings growing up. But being a mom and being a parent is a totally different experience than babysitting. It is something that until you're doing it, you don't really know what it's like. And it keeps changing because these are human beings who are constantly evolving, who are constantly growing and becoming. So because of that, we can get good at some aspects of our parenting, but then our child changes and we have to come up with a whole new way of being in relationship with them because it's a relationship. So we don't have the experience when we get into it. We kind of are learning on the job. And that is not always easy. And we don't always get it right. And we make plenty of mistakes. I make plenty of mistakes. Do you notice how I keep saying we? I want this to be a shared experience. I do not want to carry the weight of this all on my own. And I think that this is a common experience of feeling like, oh, I blew it today on that end, or oh, I'm not really doing a good job parenting, or I'm not parenting the way that I want to parent. So let me tell you this story that happened to me with one of my kids. Now, the kid in this story, he's an amazing human being, and he is not like me in the sense that he does not let his emotions come out in the same way. He's a bit more reserved with his emotions and he's a bit more guarded. I'm not saying that he stuffs down because he's not that. He's not an emotion stuffer. He will express himself. He expresses joy and all sorts of emotion. He's just more reserved in how he conveys it. He's a little bit more conservative with who gets to see him being emotional. It's his way of being in the world. He's a bit more like his dad in that way than he is like me. So we're traveling because my kids are in sports and we travel with sports. So it's the two of us. And we've been traveling for a team tournament and we're on our way home. We've got quite a long drive. I think it's about 6 hours. And we're just getting going and we're getting gas. So I put the gas in, I do all the stuff with the machine, and I'm pumping the gas, and I'm going into the store to use the restroom. And I say to him, I said, can you come out and finish pumping gas? Now, my kids are all super independent and super responsible human beings. And he's never done this before, but he learns new things all the time. And I'm constantly putting my kids in situations to get them to push themselves. And they constantly put themselves in situations where they're learning and growing and pushing themselves. So I don't think pumping gas is hard because I've been pumping gas since I was 16. So to me, it's like this is a very simple thing to do. And I didn't realize that maybe it's not that simple. So I say to him, just when it's done pumping, you'll hear it'll click, and then just take it out and hang it up. That's all he has to do. Now, I did not articulate to release the gas thing because he's not holding it to pump it, okay? He's not holding the trigger on the gas because it's one of those gas stations that has that little thing that clicks down. So I didn't specify that when you grab it, don't hold that thing when you pull it out. Don't pump more gas, essentially. Because I don't know, I didn't even think about it. And I was thinking about the travel that I had to do, like the travel that was coming and the drive that I had to do. So I was a bit distracted and didn't think much about it because I was like, oh, he knows how to do this because I've taught my older kids. And I go into the store. Well, when I come out, he has pumped gas all over his shoes and all over his pants because when he pulled, I'm laughing, but it was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. When he pulled the gas piece out, and can I just hold on for a second? I'm laughing because sometimes we laugh at uncomfortable things to make them better, to make them okay. It releases some of the tension. And I still do that about this situation, obviously, even though it was a while ago now. And a part of it is still, because we've moved on, a part of it is funny when you think about it. Like, it's ridiculous. So part of me knows that we laugh to release discomfort. And the other part of me knows that things get funnier later on. I don't remember laughing in the situation. So he pulls the gas thing out. When he does it, he pulls the gas on. There's gas all over the side of the car. There's gas all over him, and he's hung it back up. And he stinks. Of course he stinks. But the look on his face, because this is a kid who likes to do things well. This is a kid who doesn't like to fail as well. And here he has made a mistake that has resulted in smelling, which this is a kid that cares about that kind of stuff. He doesn't want to stink. He doesn't want to be uncomfortable. He doesn't want to wreck his clothes because he likes it when things look nice. So all of that is going on, and all of that emotion is right there inside of him. And we have a 6-hour drive. So we get in the car, and I'm kind of trying to comfort him and telling him it's not a big deal. And he's holding his emotions, and he's trying not to cry. And we're trying to get things off, and the whole car smells like gas. So we're driving with the windshields down, and the outside of the car smells like gas because the gas, it was everywhere, and it really stunk. And so we're bagging his clothes, we're bagging his shoes, we're bagging his pants that he wore. I mean, we had clothes with us because we had been traveling, so he just changed everything, and we put the wet stuff in a bag, and it still smelled like gasoline for quite a while. We drove with the windows down for quite a bit. And he's emotional, and he's sitting there, and he's upset, and his eyes are welling up, and I can't do anything. That's the part that's hard. I'm emotional too because I've let him down. I was not clear about what to do. I realized that. And so I owned that, and I said I was sorry. But saying sorry doesn't solve the problem. He still smells like gasoline. He's still messed up and got gasoline everywhere. I can't fix it. It still happened. And that is one of the parts of parenting that can be so difficult because we want to protect our kids. I want to protect my kids' feelings. I want to help them through these things in life. And some of the things that I do cause that emotional pressure or that emotional strain. If I had not asked him to do the gas, if I had given better instructions, this wouldn't have happened. But we can't always control those things. We do not have the ability to see into the future, to know exactly what we're doing and what the consequences are going to be for the things we're doing. If I had known that this was the consequence, if I had been a little bit more present, perhaps I would have caught that. But we can't avoid all of this. So there are going to be times when the things we do have an emotional impact on our kids. And we have to figure out a way to hold those emotions for them, to help them work through it. So here's what I had to do. We just had to sit there with it. We had to just hold the emotion. And just like the smell of the gasoline was strong and it took a long time to go away, sometimes the emotional baggage, the emotional weight of the situations we find ourselves in takes time to go away. And you just have to sit with it. And it's not comfortable and it doesn't feel great. But sometimes that's all we need to do. You just need to be there. You just need to accept that this is the situation. And it's going to get better with time. The smell of the gasoline is going to fade. And hopefully we can get it out of your canvas shoes. There is going to be things that we can do, but we can't do anything right now because we're in the car. We have to drive. And with kids, with their emotions, sometimes that is what we need to do. We just need to be there. We just need to hold it with them. And it is uncomfortable. And it is hard. And we can be drawn to want to distract them from their emotions, to like wave a hand over here and keep distracting them and pulling them away from feeling the weight of what they feel. Give them some type of respite or space. But that doesn't always serve kids. Sometimes there's something that can be learned from feeling the weight of it and learning that on its own, it will subside. Feelings change. It's okay to feel the feelings and stay with it until it does subside. Because emotions are messy. And when the mess happens, when the emotions are all out there, we can want to just clean it up. We want to put it all back together. But when our kids learn how to be with their emotions and they learn how to sit with them, they become more capable in the future to manage upsetting situations. But it's really hard. And we don't always come into this situation of parenting with the experiences of how to handle these things. We ourselves, as parents, do not always have the skills to manage our own emotions effectively. And that's part of the work. We have to do our work with our emotions at the same time that our kids are doing their work with their emotions. And somewhere in between our emotions and their emotions, we have to find a way to support them and help them be the people that they're meant to be. I would love to hear from you if this is speaking to you, if this has made a difference for you. If you have a story of where you were unable to hold your kids' emotions, or you felt really good about your ability to be present with your kid when they were feeling heavy things, I would love to hear about it. If you go into my show notes, you can find my email where you can send me a message and tell me your story. I would love it if you would subscribe and like my podcast. It enables me to share the art of plenty with more people, and it means a lot to me that you would share. It's important to me to share these messages with you. It not only helps me to articulate and think about the things that I've gone through and the things that I am working through, it also helps me to be the person that I know that I'm meant to be. I feel very strongly that being able to share the life that I have lived is a way that I can give back and give to others so that other people won't have to make the same mistakes that I'm making or that I've made. Thank you so much for tuning in. This podcast is for information. It's for entertainment. It is not intended to replace any professional help. And if you need help managing your emotions, please reach out to a professional in your home community, because we all need help. We all need someone that can be there with us as we walk through life. Thank you so much. See you soon.